The ruling on the fields, I support.
Call's been upheld. Oh wait, you said that's Ohio State? Overturned.
Hey guys, Jeff here at Matt Kite.
And Tucker.
And we're here to talk a little bit about wing progression, and refers to our feet position, our ride position, what foot is forward and what foot is back. And when we start making jibes, we start making tacks. Do we switch our feet? Do we keep our feet in the same spot? What does that look like for different riders? So that's kind of
why,
what
when, and how.
Yeah,
are we switching
I
our
like
feet?
that.
Yeah.
But kind of set the stage. Typically, riders or anybody is either regular foot, which would be left foot forward, stance feels the most natural.
Yep.
Or your goofy foot, meaning right foot, is where you feel more natural. Where do you usually pick that up? Well, if you're in any board sports, you kind of know.
If you kick with your right foot out of the soccer ball, probably want the left foot forward, back foot and back.
That's a good way of looking at it.
Right foot and back, not back foot and back.
Well, that was good.
Yeah. Kick with the left foot, you probably want the left foot and back, right foot and forward.
Yeah. And where this pops up in winging, obviously when you're learning to wing foil, typically it's easier to get up when you're on your strong side. So if you're regular, your left foot is forward. So sometimes, depending on the wind direction, you'll have to sometimes paddle out to turn around to get up on your strong side. But I think the reason why we're setting the stage for that is because that is a building block for your progression in the sport. Because wherever your strong side is where you're going to kind of tag to or lean on as you begin to do your jives.
Yep.
And then jives means downwind, turns, tacks, upwind. And then we can do some variations of those, meaning heel side or toe side with both of those. So that's kind of what we're going to dive into, kind of how that looks like for different riders. Why don't we start with, where's that kind of settle with you as you think about your progression in the sport and your feet?
Yeah, and I was smart enough coming from kiteboarding to realize I want to be able to ride both directions, at least competently, so I could stay upwind better. Coming from kiteboarding, you know that. Riding toe side, you'll never get upwind as well, and you'll fatigue parts of your body and get sore in ways that you wouldn't if you had just switched your feet because you're twisted up. Yep. And for that same reason, you can't get upwind as well. You're not as efficient. So early in my winging ability, I made sure to start both directions, to ride both directions. Even if I fell, I'm not always going to get back up to the same side just so I can turn toe side to go that direction. I would force myself.
You forced yourself
to go.
Good on you.
Unnatural stance. And of course, I came from kiteboarding. I'm used to it. I've kite foiled before I came to wing foiling. So I have a certain level of prerequisite skill riding on natural stance on a foil.
And knowing where the progression can lead you if you do that right from the get-go.
Correct. Yep. Because even if you do prefer to ride on your dominant stance, and even if in waves or in tricks you're always riding in your dominant stance, you still always want to be able to rely on the unnatural stance so that you can ride upwind more easily, so that you can give that side of your body a rest and not be riding all twisted up and pretzeled the whole time, because that just means you can't ride as long. You gotta give one side a rest while you're using the other side. So if while you're riding upwind you're switching back and forth, that just means more fun for your strong side for the long run.
So mine's a little similar but a bit different. When I first started out, I always worked on getting up on my strong side, which is left foot forward.
Yep.
So if that means, where we live, if it's coming from the north, I would paddle out so that I would turn around so I'm on my strong side to get up.
So you wouldn't start toe side?
No,
side. That's a little hard.
No, I wouldn't start toe side.
Okay.
And I came from a kite background, ride up different directions, but I just kind of jumped in the sport with no videos or nobody telling me what to do. And so I really got very efficient left foot forward, riding heel side and toe side for hours, where I did not switch feet, where I did not attempt to ride my weak side.
And you can get away with it with a foil because you can still stay upwind pretty good.
Yeah, so I did that for quite a long period of my first year progression. I was, because where I was excited in the sport is to ride a wave. So that was my end goal.
Race to ride the wave.
Race to ride the wave, not learning to switch your feet, move your feet, and do all the different things. I was like, I'm riding. I'm not in the water getting as tired. I'm not getting up and down on my board as much. I'm being able to stay with some of the guys that have been doing the sport for a couple years. I felt like I was kind of part of the club now because I could stay with them. But where I was getting lost is when we were going upwind.
Especially in the waves.
And I'd be looking at my wing mates and they're heading way up there, and I got good though. And,
yeah, as good as you
and
can.
they were pretty surprised how good I could go toe side because that's all I did.
Yeah.
But I can never get as high, and I had to make extra tacks to get back to them.
Yeah, you're spending more time riding upwind and less time riding waves.
Yeah.
So ultimately, your end goal
kind of got
blows up.
It didn't quite. It got me there because I did feel more comfortable riding my first wave on my left side. And, the thrill of that is really what got me like hooked. But then, Tony is a local guy that I ride with a lot, said, you need to switch it up, man. You're a good rider, you're a good athlete. You got to focus on the other side.
It's a good friend because otherwise,
yeah,
it's hard once you get to the point of riding competently to force yourself back into beginner mode to learn something like unnatural riding, because I could be riding the waves, but now I'm forcing myself to ride this stupid unnatural stance. I keep falling. I feel like an idiot. It's easier just to learn it from the start, I think. But
it is, and it's not to poke any holes at those of you that do ride heel side, toe side, your strong side 90% of the time. There are some great riders.
Lots of riders.
A lot of riders do that, and that can rip. Some of them, I know a lot of surf background riders have a hard time with the thought process of why switch. I can rock it with my strong side all the time, and that's just what I'm going to do.
Yep.
And if you
and they all walk around like this after a session.
Unless they're just doing downwinders. But if you do two downwinders on the same side, your knees will start to hurt.
Matter, yeah.
But anyways, I think that's kind of where I started. And then I did switch, and I did something a little different. Then I kind of went the other extreme. I said, I'm going to do a session all on my weak side. That's all I'm going to work on. Yep. Riding weak side the whole time, doing my jibes. Jibes are easier than tacks. So I was learning my jibes on my weak side, coming out toe side, weak side, riding, and then doing, a jibe. And I did that for a while.
Take it slow. It's hard.
It is hard. And then I thought, I don't need to go quite this extreme to be, ambidextrous, they call it, where you could do either hand is just as good.
It's okay to shred the waves regular. Just ride upwind unnatural.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I did that for a while. I'm glad I did. But my end game is, I was able to feel comfortable riding both directions now. Yeah. And really where the takeaway for me, maybe into my second year, third year, is when I finally did start feeling more comfortable riding with my weak foot forward, which would be my right foot, goofy. Yeah. I was staying with my bros upwind now, catching more waves, because we usually do big, huge upwind, downwind rides at our local riding spot. Yeah. And I was less fatigued, body wasn't all out of whack for hours at a time. And it kind of unleashed some things that I think we can go into now to discuss a little bit about why does being able to ride both directions, what does that open? Well, it opens up when you start to turn.
Yep.
So
it gets you up better. I think, when you get into a jibe or attack, then the question becomes, are you just riding away toe side in natural stance? If you're unnatural and you're going to make a jibe, are you going to ride away unnatural? Or are you going to switch your feet? And that's kind of what got us into the conversation as well. Some people will always change feet after the turn. Some people always before. I'm in the weirdo camp. I always change to my strong stance before the turn. And there's advantages to that. But also, I think it's good for personal growth to be able to do it any way that suits you or whatever makes sense for the situation. But I think for most people, it's easiest to make the turn in your strong stance, unless you're really competent riding unnatural. I feel like you have the best control that way. I feel like you have the most board control and efficiency to ride out rather than stall. Or if you're going to do a turn into another maneuver, so if you're going to do a turn and switch your feet into a wave, you don't want to wait till you hit the wave and you're going with it to switch your feet after
when you're coming into it weak.
Correct. So for me, that's kind of what drove the decision for me, and what I most of the time do is take the turn in my strong stance.
So you switch your feet before the turn?
If I'm riding unnatural, I'm switching my feet before the turn, making the turn
into
the strong stance. If I'm riding unnatural and I'm going to tack, I switch my feet to toe side, take a toe side tack. If I'm going strong stance and I'm switching, I'm making the tack heel side and then switching, or jibe and then switching after the turn. So for me, that just is the most natural thing. It makes sense for me a lot of times in the waves, because if you're riding unnatural, you're gonna hook into a wave, and when you hook into the wave, you want to be ready to rip. And for me, that's on my strong side, natural stance. So get a switch before, hit that lip in your strong stance, and you're ready to go.
Here's what's crazy. I'm about 3.5 years into the sport, and from our discussion this morning, I'm gonna start trying that.
Yeah.
Like switching when I'm on my goofy foot forward, switching before the turn, so when I come out of it, I'm the strong, because that's not what I've been doing.
Yeah.
I've gotten really efficient at turning first with jives with my weak foot forward, but I'm not always nailing my foot switches after. I have to really think about it. And this morning I had an epiphany, because I thought I was the only one that would struggle with that. I'm like, something's wrong with my brain. But you said, no, that makes sense. You know? And so I'm like, oh, I don't have to be so down on myself, or why is this always so much harder? Because it is going to be harder, because it's not my dominant side.
Yep.
It's natural. But I've gotten pretty decent at it. But I think where I see the benefit is coming out on your strong side on a jive to be able to hit the wave and riding your strong foot forward.
Yeah, I think there's a reason for it. I mean, that also to say, you know, it's not everybody. If you feel more comfortable doing something a certain way,
Go for it.
Do it. Or if you have a certain reason why you want to come in and out of a turn in one stance or the other, do it. And ultimately, I think it'd be great if we could all do all this stuff in any stance we want.
But you gotta find what works.
I struggle to do it the opposite way that I normally do, because I've done it this way 20,000 times. I've done it this way maybe 100 times because I forced myself to, or because the situation warranted it, and I just kind of made my way through, but it's still sketchy.
Yep.
So, you know, if I want to level up my experience on a day that's kind of boring, I'll work on that, and it's something new to learn.
I think that's a good one. You know, where I made my progression when I started riding weak side a lot, where it felt just as natural, just, you know, tacking, just riding on my weak side as my strong side. Then I started doing tacks, which is upwind turns.
Yeah.
And I felt it more natural initially, if you believe it, my right foot forward, which is my weak side, going this direction.
Yep.
Versus left and going up.
Yep.
So that's something I found when I do heel side tacks. But I think I'm going to try doing the switch before, especially on wave days, because I think coming out on your strong side. But something else I know that I've been trying to challenge myself with is start riding some waves a little bit on my weak side.
Yeah.
You know,
there's a whole another level of flavor in there, doesn't it?
It does. It adds a whole new spice to the game. And even, you know, some of the guys I ride with, you know, Tony being another one, he'll even switch his feet when he's on a wave.
Nice.
Which is even, all right. Maybe if you're on your weak side, then switch to your strong side. That makes sense. But,
sure. Yep.
I think, you know, the conversation is just that there isn't really one right way to do it, but it was kind of interesting to kind of break it down and just kind of share, you know, here are what we do and some of the tips, things that feel natural, unnatural. But that's what I love about foiling. It's like endless if you think about it.
Yeah, there's no right answer. Whatever works for you, whatever's cool. It's great to see how other people do stuff and learn things. You know, we definitely have people we ride with that do things different than you and I do, and that's great. You a lot of times start differently than I do, and that's fine. It's what works for you and your body, and you know, mine's different. We come from different kinds of backgrounds, so either way, we're up and riding.
When you saw me the first time kind of coming on from the side, you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then you saw me do it a few times, you're like, oh, it seems to work for you. Why change it?
Yeah, hey.
And I do. I kind of come side. I go 90, kind of a 45-degree angle now, but it works for me even on sinker boards, big boards. I've adapted. So no matter how your feet are, I think you know, any rider can adapt to
I'm
make
gonna
it.
get into that game. I got to buy some shin pads or something.
Yeah, because you do. It does rough it. It is a little harder. But anyways, I hope that maybe the conversation's inspired some of you to think about how you ride, maybe trying some new things. I think we haven't had a lot of wave days. So I know something I've been trying to work on in the lighter wind days when it's just flat water, kind of working on some of these things and thinking about them.
Yeah, some of those technical skills, I think, you know, it's easy to, when the conditions are perfect, you go do what you want to do, whether that's jump or ride waves, but you know, the little technical things are a lot of times when you figure it out on the slower, mellower days where you're like, oh, I wonder if I did this way. And you know, we had like that discussion of how you use your wing to surf the wave, and how you can use your wing to your advantage. You know, that's something that we kind of figured out on the junkie wave days where you're like, man, I want to ride faster, I want to do some more radical turns, but like the wave energy alone isn't enough. And how do you, you know, mesh some of these riding styles, whether it's surf and freestyle or surf and free ride, and some of the little free ride trickery, you know, mixed in with the waves. I think that's where things get really exciting for the future. And
practicing on those flat days, that way you get your feet in the right position to hit the wave in your power side.
Yeah, learn it when the variables are lower and more consistent and less consequence. And that way when you go, you know, do that handle pass,
behind the back,
behind the back foot
side.
switch into the double overhead monster, you don't fail.
And it's sometimes
pay the price.
the most simplest looking tricks feel the best.
Yeah, the flow.
You know, the flow. When I'm doing
certain things lock in,
toe side, my weak side out, and I see a big wave coming, and I can do a toe side tack into it and come into it, or go around the back, which I'm starting to do now in waves. I've been doing a flat water practice, you know, toe side tack with it behind you.
Don't want to learn that one in big waves first time, because you might wrap yourself in your own leash and be going over the falls like a torpedo.
But I think, you know, it's all a progression.
Yeah.
You learn, and it kind of spices it up. But I thought it was a good conversation we had earlier today, and we thought it'd be a good conversation to have with our customers.
Yeah.
You know?
Next boarding session, remember this.
Yeah.
Try something new, learn a new skill, and watch how it levels up on the really good days.
Yeah, and try not to overthink it. And that's not to imply if you're always riding toe side, heel side, you still can't jam, because boy, you can. It's not right or wrong. It's just different ways of thinking about how you can move your feet on the board. So, anyways, I think we covered it quite well.
Yeah, here we are. Let us know if you guys have any ideas, things that are working for you. If you have a weird way of riding, we'd love to hear it in the comments section below.
Yeah, for sure.
And be a learning experience for all of us.
Yeah, or any tricks as you've you know, push yourself to ride weak side and the different tacks and jibes. So again, Jeff here at Matt Kite.
Tucker.
Enjoy the stoke.